Hi there, my name is Alyssa and I'm here today to guide you through a cow face pose tutorial, plus a quick little flow to help open the areas of the body that need to be open to be able to more effectively get into cow face pose. One of the common questions I get is, why is it called cow face? And once we get into the shape, you'll see, if you use your imagination, that the cross of the legs could maybe look like the snout or the lips of a cow. The torso sort of looks like the nose, and then the arm lifted in the air is one of the ears. So that's how the pose got its name. It's fantastic for two areas of the body. Outer hips, glutes, IT bands, big opener for that. So if you've got tightness there, you'll definitely feel it in this pose, but this pose is great if you've got tightness there. It's also really great to stretch the chest, the front of the shoulders, really good for the rotator cuffs, just keeping healthy range of motion in the shoulders, as well as stretching out any tightness there. So if you have tight shoulders, chest muscles, you'll feel it there as well. But we'll talk through some different modifications that might work better for you as you're on your journey to get into the fuller expression of the postures. So we will do a little warm-up sort of sequence here before we get into the actual pose itself, just to again start to open up areas in the body in subtler, more gentle ways before we head into the shape. So we'll start in a cross-legged seat. Cross-legged seat is a great, gentle way to start to open the outer hips, or you might feel it a lot, maybe it's not so gentle. But just start with your default cross here. And in this pose, we want to really work on keeping the side body long, and we want to work on creating an opening across the chest. So, as you're seated here in cross-legged, you can bring your hands to your knees and feel your shoulders release from your ears, and then you might even roll the shoulders back and down a few times just to create that space from collarbone to collarbone. And then set your eyes or shut down your eyes. And we'll take a few breaths, just bringing our awareness here into this moment, into our body, into our breath. That's really always the yoga. Present moment awareness. And these shapes just help us really cultivate that sense of awareness, including greater body awareness as we care for ourselves. And then if the eyes are closed, just start to open them. Inhale, reach your fingers up to the ceiling. Exhale, we'll take a twist off to the right. So setting the left hand on your right knee, the right fingers gently back behind. Keep that tall spine, that length in your side body. Inhale, lift through the crown of the head. Exhale, rotate the chest toward the back of the room. The eyes might look over the right shoulder. And then come up to the center, reach up. Side body stretch off to the left. Drop your left fingers down. Reach your right fingers up and over. You do want a little spin here of the right chest up and open. Keep the right sitting bone down as you pull the right side body long. Breathe in. And breathe out. Back to the center, reach up. And then hands to your knees. We'll switch out the cross of the legs. So just bringing some evenness here into the hip situation. Once you've got that cross switched out, reach the fingers back up. Inhale, take that twist off to the left, left fingers behind, right hand to the left knee. Again, using your breath wisely. Inhale, lengthen. Lift through the crown of the head. Exhale, deepen the twist, spinning the chest toward the back of the room. And then back to the center, reach up, inhale. Take that side stretch off to the right, drop the right fingers down. Reach your left fingers up and over, spinning the left side of the chest up and open. And then inhale, come back to the center, reach up. Exhale, go ahead and just place the hands out in front of you, uncross your legs, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. And this is a nice healthy stretch for the backs of the legs while maintaining that length in our spine, so enjoy a few breaths here. And then shift forward out to plank. On an inhale, slowly lower all the way down to the ground as you exhale. Crawl your fingers off to either side of the mat. Place the tops of the feet down. Inhale, lift your chin, chest. Cobra here with wide arms. So you want to pull the center of the chest forward. As you do that, take a dip into the left left shoulder, peeking up and over the right shoulder. Just a little twist here. Back to the center, inhale. Take that same little twist off to the left. Back to the center, inhale. Lower everything down, slide the palms back under the shoulders, tuck your toes, press up to plank, downward facing dog. Come to your tiptoes, tiptoe your feet up to your hands. And at the top of the mat, halfway lift, a nice long spine, keep your core engaged. Exhale, folds. Root down, reach all the way up, inhale. Sweep the arms behind the back, lace up your fingers. Draw your knuckles down, lift your eyes up. Big breath in, keep this lace of the fingers as you forward fold. This will start to open the fronts of the shoulders. So feel a little softness between the shoulder blades. And as that softens up, slide the shoulder blades closer in together. See if you can float your knuckles up and over more toward the front of the room, really feeling the arms here straighten out. Inhale. And release, fingertips down, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, step it back, downward facing dog. No need to flow and really tire out the shoulders. Lift your right heel up and back behind you. Exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Keep your left fingers down and reach your right fingers high. Keep moving that right hip back in space. You'll start to feel that outer hip hopefully open up and stretch as you spin the chest up and open. Extending high through those 5 right fingertips, breathe in. Exhale, right fingers to the mat. Start to straighten into your right leg, taking that stretch a little deeper now. So the right hip's going to want to turn forward to move out of the stretch. See if you can keep shifting it back till you feel something moderate. Drop heavy into the left heel. Relax through the back of your head, your neck. And then rebend the right knee. Reach your fingers up, crescent lunge. And then exhale, open up warrior two. And for this warrior two, just lift the palms up to the ceiling. Let your shoulders be soft. Just finding that sense of ease. And from here, reach your right fingers up and back. So reverse warrior, adding on a tricep stretch. So this is actually half of a cow face arm right here. We're just taking right palm in between the shoulder blades. Palm side of the hands pressing into that space between the shoulder blades. Left fingers come up to the right elbow and gently guide it up and back. So we're getting a nice side body stretch, a little tricep stretch. Keep strong in your legs, guiding that right knee off to the pinky toe side of the foot. And release the right arm back straight, reach it up, inhale. Exhale, send the right forearm down to the right thigh and the left arm to the sky. Stay here. If this is enough for you, you can certainly do the next option from here. If you want a little more, you can release the right fingers down. So this left arm, we're going to take the hand and flip it to the opposite side of the room. So make that rotation of the arm first, and then we'll slide it behind the back. So the forearm is against the low back, the back of the hand maybe is resting to the outside of the right thigh. If you have a little more space, you can slide your right fingers, or your left fingers, into that inner right thigh. So that's your half bind here in your side angle pose. Slide your left shoulder blade in towards your spine, down a little bit, and then really roll the front of your left chest up and open. Take one more big breath in right here. And then exhale, release the arm, frame the right foot, step it back, downward facing dog. Lift your left heel up and back. Step your left foot to the top of the mat. Keep your right fingers down, reach your left fingers high. Remember this hip, if it's moving forward, nudge it back. Get that nice stretch in the outer thigh there. Stretching the left fingers high, spinning the chest, the rib cage up and open. Breathe in. Put the left hand on the mat. Start to straighten into the left leg. It doesn't have to go all the way straight. Just enough that you feel a nice big stretch running up the back of the leg. Sinking your right heel down heavy. Ensure you're breathing. Keeping your mind on your mat. Rebend the left knee. Arms up overhead, coming through crescent lunge. And then exhale, warrior two, flatten the back foot. Again, we'll flip the palms, just sort of signaling to the shoulders here to relax down the back. Reverse your warrior, left fingers up and back. And then left palm in between the shoulder blades. Right fingers to the tricep. And if you can lay your head back a little bit into that upper left arm, that might be a nice little assist there, helping you find that deeper stretch. And extend the left fingers back up, inhale. Forearm to the thigh, right arm to the sky. Check in here if this feels plenty. Stay, because you can definitely do that half bind from right here. If you want a little more, set the right hand down, or the left hand down inside the left leg. So first, rotate the palm to face the opposite side of the room. And then take the forearm behind the back. You can just rest here or start to slide the right fingers in toward the left hip crease. Slide your right shoulder blade in. Roll your right chest open. Feel your breath. Inhales, we're still lengthening the spine. Exhales, we're still deepening that twist because there is a little twist here in the upper body. One more breath in. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, let's get into it. Drop the knees. Take your hips to one side. Swing your legs out from underneath of you, straight ahead. So, like I said, big outer hip stretch, glutes, IT bands, all of that stuff. So I'm going to show you a half variation of the legs, which tends to be way more accessible for people, especially if you are feeling pretty tight. I actually love this variation. So this is a great place to start. What we're doing is we're bending the right knee, basically setting it on top of the left knee or as close as you can get it, drawing your right heel in towards your outer left hip. Left leg straight. If you get here and you're like, whoa, that's plenty of sensation, then stay here. If you're like, I can handle a little more, you can try out more by sliding the left heel in toward your outer right hip. You want both of your sitting bones to remain connected to the mat. So if you're pulling out of this right hip to get out of sensation, you've probably crossed the legs too much. So you can sort of shift the cross and maybe not stack knees. You could also play with the position here of the heels. You can bring your shin bones a little more forward or your heels a little more in and just find where that sweet spot is for you. It's kind of like you're tying your legs in a knot here, feet out to either side. If you do have a strap or anything like a strap, a scarf, a tie, a towel, that's helpful, especially if you do have those tight shoulders. And so we'll extend our left arm up. Again, we want lots of side body length. Just like we did in our reverse warrior pose, we'll take the palm in between the shoulder blades. If you do want to try this with a strap, you'll place the strap in that left palm. And I'm going to actually turn around so you can see this from the back. So we've got our left palm situated. Now we're going to start to crawl our right hand up the back. You could always just grab clothing. If you can clasp the fingers, you can clasp the fingers. That's, you know, the final step though, so don't force or jam that. The strap is great here because that just gives you something to hold on to. Once you get, you know, something to hold on to, you want to send your elbows to the wall behind you, or back behind you. And I like to really press, in this case, the right hand into my mid-back. That reminds me to sit up nice and tall, can lay my head back into my left arm, and it helps you get the most out of this stretch. So elbows drawing back, right hand pressing forward, crown of the head lifting, maybe the back of the head falling a little bit into the left arm. Most importantly, make sure you're breathing. And then sometimes, some people like to take a little fold here. That will deepen sensation into the hips. Totally not necessary, not really a part of the traditional version of the pose. But if you want to add in an extra stretch for the outer hips, that might work very nicely for you. So wherever you landed, take one more breath cycle. And then slowly release your arms. I like to straighten out the legs. Maybe give them a little shake. You can rock your hips side to side. And then from here, we will switch out our sides. So half variation first, try it on. It's going to hit up a different side of the hips here, so it could be a little different, especially if you've had an injury in one side of the body. So check this out. If you want a little more, you can slide that bottom heel in as well. Remember, both sitting bones, we want them to stay connected. You can play with the distance of your heels from your hips or the shin bones to the top of your mat. And then lift your right arm nice and tall, really lengthen up. Right hand to the mid-back. Left fingers with the back of the left hand connected to your back, crawling up. You can use that strap or that strap-like item in the right hand, so the left hand has something to catch onto. You could also catch clothing or clasp your fingertips Now once you get there, send your elbows back. Press your left hand into your mid-back so you stay sitting up nice and tall. You might lay your head back a bit into the right arm. And then really feel your breath here. So when we get into these complex poses, it can be easy to want to hold our breath or sort of forget about it. But really the best way to advance any pose is to actually deepen into your breath. So it's not about going further in the pose. It's about picking a place where you can breathe deeper. You know, our breath is a wonderful tool to clear tension and stress, and so the more we can really hone into it, the more we can find that sense of relief physically. Take one more full breath cycle. And then release. Straighten the legs out in front of you. And we're just going to take an easy forward fold. So nothing too, forced here, just sort of falling over. Anytime we do a lot of opening of the chest, it's nice to counter that with some forward bending. And then go ahead and slide the heels in, bring the feet together. Just one more forward, seated forward fold here. Butterfly pose. Start sitting up nice and tall, and then just drop your forehead down to your toes. Find a little round in the upper back. See if you can pull the shoulder blades apart a little bit, letting your head fall heavy, so you get a nice stretch in your neck as well. And then lifting back up. Coming into a tabletop position, we'll thread the needle, just another great counter pose to the front shoulder opening. So sliding onto the back of the right shoulder, dropping your right cheek down to the mat. And if you want to add on any enhancements here, you've got some options. We already did binding, so maybe you choose something else like extending the left fingers forward. You could also step the left toes back. With your left knee, left hand down, pick your chest up, place your right hand back on the mat. Just switch out your sides, come onto the back of the left shoulder. Really fall heavy there and onto the left cheek. Stay here or add on a stretch of the right arm, a stretch of the right leg. And then set right hand, right knee down. Lift the chest up, set the left hand to the mat. We'll go ahead and make our way onto our backs. If you do have a block, I highly recommend you bring a block with you as you go down. Coming down onto our backs, feet hips width distance apart, feet on the mat. Go ahead and pick your tailbone up and slide the block underneath of it. There are two heights you could play with. One, the shortest height, which is the biggest surface area of the block connected to your sacrum, that flat part of your lower back. You could also play with the second highest height, which just gives you a little more here in your supported bridge, but we're actually going to take it one step further. In our cow face, we've got our hip flexors compressed and closed off, so it's nice to give them a good stretch after that and just to get the blood flowing again. So if you can, step the feet out until the legs are long. Just breathing right into the fronts of the hips. And then rebend the knees. If you are on the second height of the block, I recommend you go to the lowest height so you've got that biggest surface area on your sacrum. And we'll take a supported inversion here. Just kicking the feet up toward the ceiling, allowing a little extra blood flow into the hips. And stepping the feet back down on the mat. Just one final neutralizing pose for the spine. Just bring it back straight again before we head out onto our day. Happy baby, pull the knees in, catch your big toes. Think about pulling your spine long like a fitted sheet over a mattress. So tops of the shoulders down, tailbone down. If you want to rock side to side from here, straighten one leg and then the other leg. Feel free. And then release the toes, hug the knees in. Give yourself a big hug, a big squeeze. And then find a sweet release into your Shavasana. And taking however long you need in Shavasana to just let the effects of what you just did, especially in the shoulders and hips, really sink in. Sometimes we do this work and we just carry on about our day like we didn't even do it. So just lay here and not only feel really good about what you've done, but allow the body to soak it in, feeling that space across your chest, a little extra space and relief in the shoulders, some openness, a little less tension in the hips, and a body that's really prepared to carry you throughout the rest of your day in a way that feels easeful, aligned, in harmony. Thank you so much for joining me today. Feel free to lie here as long as you need to. And I wish you the most wonderful rest of your day.